Here we are, section 1-2, linear measure. Remember, linear means straight line. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. All right. Vocab, line segment. So here's my line segment. It has two endpoints and can be measured. Okay, some of my words here got deleted, but we would call it line segment AB, or if it was a number, we might say AB equals 4. Okay, that's the two ways to do it. Remember, a line is an arrow symbol. A line segment is just a straight line. So today we're going to be working with line segments. Okay, we're not going to do any measurement. Okay, but we're going to talk about between points. So if we look over here highlighted, in order for a point to be between two other points, all three must be collinear. What can we see about n? What is n between? It is between A and B, or A and R. Between does not mean halfway. It just means in the middle of, between. What can we say about point P? Is P on that line? We are just going to say it is not collinear. Okay, moving on. Here's betweenness. If point M is between points P and Q, if they are collinear, and PM plus, so we're looking at this, PM plus MQ equals PQ. So if I add this plus this, I should get the whole thing. So that's pretty much what we're going to be looking at the rest of the time here. Okay, we're not going to talk about inches. All right, find JL. I want to find, anytime I see a segment, I like to draw this so I can see the total. I want to find JL, the whole thing. How do I find it? 8.4 plus 3.9. I'm going to do speed calculations for us here. Carry the 1, 12.3 centimeters. Feel free to use your calculator. Remember, feel free to pause if I'm solving a problem if you want to try it yourself on your calculator. Okay, so we just added those two together. I'm going to draw a little plus sign here. We're going to skip that one. All right, next one. Find LM. Anytime I see a blank and this line is already drawn in for you, I'm going to draw an X. Two different ways to look at this. I can do it as an algebra problem. X plus 2.6 equals 4. I subtract 2.6 from both sides. I get X equals 4 minus 2.6 is going to give you 1.4. Okay? So if we don't know what it is, we can call it X. Likewise, if we go back to this problem, and I'm going to erase this plus mark, we could call this line X. And we could say 3.9 plus 8.4 equals X. So anything missing you can call X if you wanted to. It's up to you. You don't have to. Okay, so that's one way to find it by subtraction. Now, all these words look crazy. And I'm not going to make you guys draw these, so I'm going to draw it for you. Okay, so we have, sorry, I'm going to line this up here. Find the value of x and st if t is between s and u. So we're going to call this s, we're going to call this u, and then we're going to put t somewhere in between because it is between. Trying to circle it, sorry. I'm using a new iPad pen for the first time here. Okay, I'm going to label my picture with different colors. ST equals 7x. I'm going to label my picture. SU, which I'm going to draw my total here. That's the whole thing, equals 45. And TU equals 5x minus 3. So what I'm going to do on a quiz or test is I'm going to draw this picture for you, and then you're going to solve it and do the algebra. How are we going to solve it? We know that these two, if I add them together, they equal the total. So 7x plus 5x minus 3 equals 45. Combine my like terms. I'm going to change colors back to blue. I'm going to combine my like terms. 12x minus 3 equals 45. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Oops. Sorry about that. Add 3. 12x equals 48. Divide both sides by 12. 48 over 12. Human calculator is 4. So, x equals 4. Am I done? The answer is no, because it says find the value of x and st. So I found x. Now I need to find st, this distance right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 4 and I'm going to travel my 4 all the way back and plug it in here. And I know that 7 times 4 equals 28. So st is 28 and x equals 4. Like I said, rewind that, go through it again. If you want to see it, pause in the middle of things, figure out the best way to do it. Okay. I'll do another example because these are kind of challenging. We're going to draw our line, which I will already have drawn for you. B is between A and C. AC, and I can look at my picture, AC is the whole thing, 4x minus 12. AB is x, BC is 2x plus 3. And it says, find x and BC. So I'm looking for x, and I'm looking for this distance, BC. So what do? Once again, it's an addition. If you write out the picture, it always ends up to be an addition problem. X plus 2x plus 3 equals 4x minus 12. What do we have to do always before we subtract from both sides? We must combine like terms. So 3x plus 3 equals 4x minus 12. I'm going to subtract 3 and bring it over here because I'm running out of room. 3x equals, that 3 canceled, 4x minus 15. Negative 12 minus 3 is negative 15. Now I got to get all the x's on one side. So I'm going to subtract the 4x, negative x, 3 minus 4, x is negative x, and I have a negative 15. My negatives will cancel out. I get x equals 15. And BC. So I'm going to take this, plug it in for x, 2 times 15 plus 3, 30 plus 3 equals 33. So those are my two answers. Make sure you know how to do these two problems. They will be on the quiz and the test. Okay, make sure we practice them. We'll have a couple on homework. Lastly, vocab, congruent. We're going to be talking about congruent all year in geometry. What does congruent mean? Same measure. They have the same measure. This is the congruent symbol. It is an equal sign with a squiggly mark. I think it's called a tilde. And then, if you look right here and right here, you see how to make a congruent mark. So if I have two lines that are the same, they're going to have one line through them showing they're congruent. If I have two other lines over here that are not the same as these, then I would draw two lines on each one. And that's how we would know they are congruent. So congruent is going to be a big word that we always use in geometry. So basically we're looking at the graph and which two lines are congruent. So it says Oklahoma is congruent to what? Okay. Now, nothing is congruent to Oklahoma. If we look here. If I draw a line right here, nothing's the same. If I said what two states are the same, you would say Nebraska and South Carolina, and you might do that. Like this is geometry. What it's asking is if I added, so Kansas is 30. Never mind. We're going to move on from that. Not the best example. Here, we're going to name the congruent segments. So we're going to practice. AB is congruent to, so I'm going to look for the other single mark, which is here. And that is going to be AG. And that's how I write it in geometry. Segment AB is congruent to segment AG. Okay, now I'm going to look here. That has 2 marks. This has 2 marks. So segment CD is congruent to segment, we're going to call it FE, because you have to use the same numbers, same letters that correspond to the same point. So C and F correspond to the similar point. Last but not least, I'm going to erase these. We can see here 3 marks. And so that segment is called, if I traced it, BC is congruent to GF. We're going to be writing a lot of stuff like that in geometry this year. All right, we're going to skip that. That's all I